Why customer complaint skills are important. In the modern business world, no matter what role you perform, you need the skills to effectively handle customer complaints. Customers can be internal as well as external to the business, so we all deal with customers in one way or another. Research has shown that if you are able to resolve a complaint in the customer's favor, that customer will do repeat business with you 70% of the time, and up to 95% of customers will give you a second chance if you handle their complaint successfully. But get it wrong and that customer may never come back. Perhaps more worryingly, 95% of customers who have had a bad experience are likely to tell someone else about it. This can damage the company reputation, hit profits, and ultimately lead to job losses. So it is really important to recognize the serious consequences of poor customer complaint handling. If you try to handle complaints without a plan or structure, you are taking a huge risk. Handling complaints with a structured plan is a much better idea. Having a system means that you can control the situation and lead it towards an outcome which is favorable to you. In the next section of the workbook, we are going to look at a system for handling complaints which does exactly that. It is easy to remember and works for many workplace situations and scenarios. It is also flexible enough to be adapted to suit your role or ideal job and the types of complaint you may come across. The 4-step plan is called the LAST complaint plan. Listen. Apologize. Solution. Thank them. It is called the LAST complaint plan because the letters LAST are an acronym for the steps you must go through in order to handle and control the complaint. Let us now take a look at each step in more detail. L. Listen. When a customer is dissatisfied, their immediate need is to look for someone to listen to their complaint. Sometimes just getting it off their chest can have a big effect on removing the anger and frustration they may have. When listening to a customer's complaint, it is important not to interrupt. Make notes on the detail of the complaint and give them visual or verbal cues that you are paying attention. It is really important that you empathize with their point of view. Have you ever heard the saying, "Put yourself in another's shoes and walk a mile"? Well, empathy is just that. You need to imagine you are experiencing the issue from the customer's point of view. By doing this, it allows you to connect with your customer, establish rapport, creates a sense of teamwork between the two of you. Once the customer realizes that you are on their side, they are more willing to work with you to fix the problem. Additionally, not all customer complaints are valid. Yes, you need to take all customer feedback seriously, but only by listening and carefully understanding the detail of the complaint can you establish how serious the complaint is and, importantly, decide on the appropriate action needed to resolve it. Take some time to think about the last customer complaint you received or witnessed and write it down. A summary. Example. Mrs. Customer was disappointed with the product quality. Now write down how you first responded, not how you dealt with the issue. Focus purely on the first few words you used to acknowledge the complaint. Write it down. Example. I'm sorry you feel that way, Mrs. Customer. There are certain phrases and key words you should use at this first stage. Tick the boxes you felt you covered with your response. Did you acknowledge them by name? Did you take ownership of the issue by stating your name? Did you empathize with the customer with a phrase like, "That must be disappointing"? Did you paraphrase the issue back to the customer? Now, using your new knowledge, have a go at writing a great first response to a typical customer complaint you deal with. If you write it down and read it out, it will become second nature when in a live customer environment. Example. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Customer. That must have been very disappointing. My name is ... and I'm going to fix this for you. Let me just recap what you told me to make sure I captured all the details. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. If you had a problem, you would want someone to listen to you.